Hi everybody, Stuff and Things here with a video that's long overdue. A while back I said I would do a video about how I get out of crooked grinds. And I'm no expert, I'm still trying to figure this one out, but I love it when people can try to figure this out with me. So I'm going to share some tips that are working for me, and maybe it'll help someone out there get out of a crooked grind. So the first and easiest way to get out of a crooked grind is to pivot. Just pivot around that front truck where all your weight is and come out with kind of a 180. It's like doing a nollie pivot. You can practice nollie pivots just on flat ground to get used to that motion. I definitely think this is the easiest way out of a crook, and it's the way I started doing crooks successfully because I could finally get out of it in this way. But we're going to move on really quick because I think that is the most basic one. And you're probably here to learn another method to get out, most likely getting out regular, which we will get to soon. But first, I think the second easiest way to get out of a crook is to shove it out. This is like doing a nollie front shove on flat. So if you want to practice those, that's a really good tool to have so that you can do it out of a crook. It's surprisingly not that different and not that hard to do the nollie front shove off the box and then land on it. Once you try it a few times, I think you're going to find, oh wow, I really can do this. Even though it feels like it might be weird or unstable at the beginning, I was surprised how well I could do this as soon as I started trying. And I think one of the keys to being able to do this versus the pivot is the amount of friction that you have on your ledge. If you have a lot of friction, it's going to make your shoulders want to turn and you're going to want to pivot out. When you go for the shove it, you're going to want to lean back just a little bit more so you have less friction and less like gritty surface trying to slow you down on the box. And then you'll be able to get to the shove it out, and then that helps you get to the coming out regular. Right here, I'm just practicing standing on the box in a crook position and seeing if I can slide the board off the box in regular to see what'll happen. The key here is to make sure that the crook foot, the foot that's doing all the work, keeps the weight on the heels. In my opinion, that's the number one thing, because then you end up with that. If the weight goes to your toes, the board wants to roll off the ledge, and you end up primo, and it ends up trying to do a weird pressure flip type thing, and you don't want that. So as we dig into the details of how to get out regular, keep the weight on your heel, like press that heel into the ledge as it's standing on the nose. You can also think of it as lifting your toes up in the air. So watch my front foot here. As I come off right at the end, when I'm going to get to the end of the box, I lift my toes and I really try to focus on holding the heel side of the board down against the box. Now, as I dug into this and I started watching slow-mos back to see what's happening here, as I try to mash that heel down and keep that pressure on, as the board comes off the box, watch this. Did you see it? The truck, when it was in that pinched position, as it came off the box and I had the pressure on the heel, the truck snaps back down. That heel side wheel wants to go back into neutral position. And that's really a helpful thing when we're trying to get out regular. That truck snapping back to neutral position is really valuable. Watch this one. The truck will help to level out the board as it comes out because that little snapping motion puts a little bit of spin on the board and actually keeps it level as it comes off the end of the box, as long as I don't have weight on my toes. Now, if only it was that simple, because there's also a weight distribution thing happening. You had all your weight on your front foot, and right about the moment you want to come off, you need to get a little lighter on your feet and start transferring more weight to a balanced position towards your back foot. And so you can't just stand on your front foot the whole time and expect to come off. You need to sort of unweight. And there you could see me picking my foot up. I overdid it there. I didn't do it quite right, but shows the idea that you're trying to get the weight off of that foot, and the timing of it is something I'm still working on. I'm trying to get better at it. It's tricky and it's a little weird sometimes, but with practice you'll be able to get it. Here's another good example of that unweighting. As I come off the box here, I do it really over-exaggerated. I lift this foot off, but notice that I lifted from the toes. So keep the heel down and sort of jump off the heel. Not jump really, but transfer weight backwards. It's hard to put into words what's actually happening here, but I think you kind of get the idea. There is a weight transfer off of the front foot towards the back foot, but not like entirely to the back foot, to a balanced position. And lastly, let's talk about the upper body. Earlier, I mentioned that the pivot out, the first one you'll probably learn, is because there's a lot of friction between your truck and maybe the nose of the board sliding across the box, and it's gonna make you want to pivot. Now, if you wanna not pivot, you have to purposefully keep your shoulders nice and even lined up with the box. Don't let your back shoulder come around and come forward, because then you're gonna want to pivot out. You'll have a tendency to do that. So to keep it straight and to come out regular, keep those shoulders in line with the box, and you should be able to stay straight. So if you want to come out of a crook regular, remember to lift with your toes, keep that heel pressed down, keep those shoulders lined up with the box as much as you can, and transfer that weight right at the moment that you're going to come off. Get your weight off the front foot and back into a neutral position, and make sure you jump from the heel, not the toes, and you should be all set. Hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helps somebody out there. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.